All right, those of you that couldn't hear me, we'll try this again. 6:01, time for the Board of Adjustment meeting for June 5th. I want to welcome you all and thank you very much for coming. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to call this meeting to order, and we are going to do the roll calls. But if you don't mind, we'll start from left to right, please.
Wright McElroy, present.
I'll say it again. Earl Hartzog.
Regina Agee.
Rondo Hayward.
And Richard Jevitt. Just for letting you know, at this point, Rondo was the alternate. At the present time, he will be the member on board and have the requirement to be able to vote on any items that will be made through. Thank you again, Rondo. All right, item number 1. Hearing of the residents. And as we can see here, we are really crowded and the residents are just getting ready to speak. So do we have any residents on the line? No? Okay. And that portion is closed. All right. As far as number 4, which is the consent agenda, at this point, if you wouldn't mind taking a look at the minutes for the April 24th meeting, the regular meeting, and take a look at it. If there are any comments, please?
Yes.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve? Oh, I'm sorry.
I had a question about those present and absent. But that's okay.
Was the last one the Murdoch signage? I was present. No?
No, the last sign variance was for MSI, the flooring off 4 Oaks Lane. That was the last variance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody's had a chance to take a look at the minutes from last meeting. I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. McElroy and a second from Mr. Herzog. All right, at this point, if you would take a look at your screens and vote. Can we publish that portion of the report? Thank you. It's getting a little bit to get used to this thing, but I think we'll... All right. First item for public hearing, and this is item RA 2300069, consider and let upon a request for a variance to the Verde Enterprise Business Park Land Development District, PDD, ordinance number 07S14A and 1996 Unified Development Code ordinance number 96S8 in order to permit an increased maximum wall sign, interlighted sign, and an increased number of wall sign located at 1764 Verde Parkway, City of Schertz, Guadalupe County, Texas property ID 171707. Okay, at this point, what we'll do is we'll call on the staff to do the presentation, and we'll work on public hearing afterwards. Thank you. Please.
Good evening, board members. PLVAR 2023-0069, sign variance for 17648 Verde Parkway, Amaris Gomez, planner. The property being presented is outlined in green. To the west here is Schertz Parkway. To the north of the property is Verde Parkway, and south is IH 35. The property is outlined in blue. State law requires that all property owners within 200 feet of the variance request be notified. So May 16th, there were 6 public hearing notices that were sent, and as of 5 p.m. today, we have received no responses. So the property is in the Verde Enterprise Business Park PDD and follows the 1996 UDC. So there are limitations. The applicant has requested an 80 square foot illuminated primary sign on the north facade, a 60 square foot illuminated wall sign on the south, and a 60 square foot illuminated sign on the west. The Verde Enterprise Business Park PDD and 96 UDC state that only 1 sign is permitted per building and the maximum area of 80 square feet with a maximum letter logo height of 12 inches. Under the current UDC, the maximum area that is permitted is 250 square feet, and there are no letter or logo height restrictions. The maximum area is 75% of the primary wall, and the number of signs are limited to 1 per wall with a maximum of 3 signs per building. So the property is proposed to develop as an extended stay America Premier Suites as shown here. So the north facade will have the illuminated primary signage of 80 square feet with a logo height of 4 feet 5 inches. The south will have the illuminated signage of 60 square feet with a logo height of 3 feet 10. And the west will have the illuminated sign of 60 square feet with the logo height of 3 feet 10 inches on the west facade. The requested variance does not violate the intent of the UDC because the proposed wall signs are scaled appropriately for a building under the Verde Enterprise Business Park, and these signs would be permitted under the current UDC. The subject property is located within the planned development district that does have specific criteria for sign standards and uses the 1996 UDC. The hardship is the result of the applicant's own actions for wanting the business to comply with the current UDC rather than following the 1996 UDC or the Verde Enterprise Business Park PDD. The proposed variance to allow additional and larger signs that conform to the current UDC is consistent with the previous variances approved for the properties within the Verde Enterprise Business Park PDD. The requested variance complies with the criteria for granting a variance as presented and follows the intent of the current UDC. Therefore, staff recommends approval of PLVAR 2023-0069 for a variance of a single tenant building to have a total of 3 wall signs with an increased maximum letter logo size. Thank you.
Forgetting to press that crazy button. At this time, we are open for a public hearing on this particular item. If there is anyone that would like to speak on this particular issue, you are welcome to do so. Is there anyone that wants to talk on this item? Going once, twice, 3 times. Public portion is closed. And at this time, I'll turn it over to the board for any questions.
Can we back up one? Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what about the next one? Okay, item number 4, or if I speak, I didn't push my. Item number 4, is that the one that's not in compliance?
I'm sorry, sir?
Okay, there's one, this is green.
The wrong screen? Are you looking for the staff recommendation?
Staff's recommendation for 4 items. You recommend approval of all 4 items?
So of all the signs that are currently shown here, yes.
Oh, this is green.
So Mr. Herzog, so
Okay, there we go.
This is,
The bottom one.
So staff is recommending approval of them having additional wall signage and having larger wall signage. So the Verde Enterprise Business Park limits them to having 1 wall sign and a maximum letter logo height of 12 inches. Staff is recommending approval to have 3 wall signs, that one is 80 square feet and the other 2 are 60 square feet, all of which would comply with the current UDC.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to?
Do I remember right? We've approved things like this. I'm sorry. John, can you hear me? Okay. It's on now. Okay. Okay, I was gonna say, we've approved things like this over there previously. Specifically Amazon, I remember.
yes, sir, that is correct.
So, I did have a question on it. This isn't really that germane to approval or not, but I guess there've been a couple of meetings here where the applicant doesn't show. I'm just curious, what does the city tell the applicant? And obviously, they don't have to be here, I know that, but just curious.
So I did respond or reach out to the applicant. He is actually viewing this live. He wasn't able to make it. But we do tell them that, y'all usually do have questions, and we prefer for them to show up so that they can, answer anything that y'all may want to know.
Sure,
So,
I agree with that.
But, yeah, so we do, the same time that we reach out to y'all and let y'all know about the agenda, we reach out to them as well, and they know the dates ahead of time. And then day of, like I said, as of today, I did reach out to him again, and he did say that he was, like I said, viewing it live.
Okay.
A quick question. This is really trying to be proactive instead of reactive. Given that the current UDC to be allowed, I'm just wondering if there's any other businesses that may run into this in the future, and why don't we do a carte launch? Everyone that in that enterprise business park gets to operate under the current UDC.
How would you want to answer that?
So, Mr. Hayward, we run into the potential to have to come and do this sign variance for any of the properties within Verde Enterprise Business Park that want to have a larger sign than, if you think 12-inch letter logo height, it's pretty small. For us to do something like what you're stating would require us to rezone all of those properties, which would require every property owner to sign off on that, and because the zoning itself is what bound all of those properties to using the 1996 UDC. That's the way that the Verde Enterprise Business Park PDD design standards were written. We don't do that anymore. When we write PDDs now, we write it as the UDC as amended, so as the UDC changes, that PDD gets to keep using the latest version. But when Verde was written, it was bound to the previous UDC. But I would say there's not that many more properties in Verde that are undeveloped. I mean, we can look at the aerial, you can see. So the property across from the subject property is also owned by Amazon, so is the one to the right of that. The two, like, do we have a mouse? Okay. These properties here are currently under development. This one's for a Brown Retina Eye Institute. This one is for a ambulatory center. So you may see, you know, additional variance requests in the future. But back to Mr. McElroy's, you know, comment, we know, just doing a quick kind of review earlier before tonight's meeting, there's been 4 to 5 sign variances just like this, that they've all come in and complied with the current UDC rather than using Verde.
Okay, I was just trying to save the staff time, the business time, and
Yeah.
not being selfish, us time too, to do something that we know more than like 9 times out of 10 is going to get approved because of the current UDC. Thanks.
Understood. So-
Anyone else? All right. At this point, do I hear a motion?
Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve this.
Motion from Mr. McElroy,
Second.
Hartsock.
second from Mr. Rondo. Right?
I have a question. Did I do that right? I mean, we're following what we're supposed to.
I'm sorry?
Like that number 4 down there in the bottom, that's okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, you can publish the votes. All right, thank you all very much. All right, on to number 6. Any announcements from either staff or board? Nothing? Okay. So we go to number 7. Running it wrong quick. That is for the adjournment of the regular meeting, and that.
So moved.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Ferrando. Okay, please vote. All right, please publish the vote. Well, thank you all very much. And at this point, I guess it's 15 if you want to. But no, the meeting is over. I appreciate everyone for coming here. Thank you very much.